Hey guys, Captain Foley here. I'm starting a new model build and I thought I would share with you guys. I'm doing the Bandai ATST 1/48 scale assault walker, chicken walker, whatever you want to call it. One of my favorite ships from Trek, or from Star Wars, sorry. And I thought I'd share with you guys some of the process. Now, if you've seen the instructions, which I'll take a look at right now, the Bandai kits are really good. They're really simple. Most of it's snapped together. You don't even need glue. I do glue a few pieces, but so this whole first section is done. I've got this piece ready to go. What I'm going to do is, as I move along, I'm going to weather it and paint it each section as I go. So this is the main body section, kind of where the legs attach to the upper part. And I've added some weathering and a few other things. I even got a little oil leak here by the hoses that's trickled down. Might change it a little bit. I want to add a little bit of rust and stuff to this as well. But I painted the hoses. The hoses are black there. And each section as I go along, because the next section is building one of the legs, I'll weather that leg once it's finished being built and then move on from there and so on. And then once the finished model is done, I'll add a few finishing up weathering touches. Like I said, I want to add a little bit of silver to this, or a color like steel or aluminum or something, as well as some rust colors. So I want this to be a very used looking ATST, not a brand new one out of the factory. So there you have it, guys. Might make a few changes back here. I don't know if I want these black or not, but we'll see how it goes. So there we go. That's the first step, and I will keep you posted on the build progress as we move along with it. So yeah, it's going to be on to this next part now, adding those and then doing the leg. So alright guys, it's been a few days later and I got most of this built at the my weekly model build night with my model club. It does stand-ish. It's not really balanced properly without the head on it, but it does stand on the base that it comes with. The joints down here are kind of shitty. They don't really move the best, but got these little toe pieces that move, and then there's also a lot of movement and articulation up in the legs here. So it can do a variety of poses as it says on the box, but not super happy with the movement as it sits right now. Now, as you can see, this part's all done as far as weathering and stuff goes. I still have to add some rust, but I got to do the legs now, and that'll be the next video that I do. Just kind of doing some detailing on those, so stay tuned for that, guys. Just ignore this. We're actually doing a video with Andrew Probert earlier today, and we're talking about this specific shuttle, so that's why that's there. So, but yeah, anyway, I'm going to go back to using the Tamiya. This is the German gray. There's also flat black and light gray, and the Vallejo Model Wash for gray and dark vehicles. This is the gray one. This is like a pin wash, and I'll probably do a quick video on how to do that real quick. I also need to add some rust colors and stuff, so I gotta get my rust out because I want to add a few rust elements to the body as well. So there you have it, guys. Just a quick update, and let's see what we can do with this thing. All right, stay tuned for the walker. Alright guys, so I've got the one leg weathered here, just using the pin wash and some of this dark gray. I'll show you guys how to do that in just a second. I just wanted to show you what I got going on here. I just didn't want it to have a brand new look. I wanted it to look old and something that's used for sure. There you have it. Looks all greasy and grimy, and I've added some streaking, simulates weather, some rain. Especially back here in these joints. So this one looks all pristine and new, as you can see here, and then this is how it looks weathered. Still not finished, of course. I'm going to go over it a few more times, but I'll show you guys how to do that real quick just now. And again, I'm no pro at this. It's my first time using like washes and stuff. There are different ways to weather different things, and this is something that just worked for me over the years. And don't mind this. This is just the attachment piece that attaches the main body to the legs. I've painted it dark so it hides well. I gotta go over it with another coat, but I left the ball joint, of course, clear, and the part at the bottom that attaches to the main body is unpainted as well. And I'm just using this to hold it while it dries, so ignore that, if you will. So with these pin washes, I use a very thin, fine brush. This one's an older one, so it's kind of ratty. And I've got this old container. It's actually from Easter, small little Easter egg candies that I put my wash in. Keeping these little containers is really helpful. I got containers from a whole bunch of different sources. Actually, just let me turn on the upper light here. Hold on one second. That might give you some better lighting. Sorry about the water running, but that's just Sylvia's up having a shower. So these washes, you just put them in like so. It's really hard for me to see what I'm doing here on the camera, but you just wash it over. Depending on the scale of the model and the effects, the different effects you want, there's a bunch of different ways to do these. But it gets in all the little cracks there and really shows off the highlights, like the rivets and things. I'm gonna do this part here too. So I just usually go to quick once over with this. And here's more of the maneuverability of these legs. Like, they're pretty agile as far as being able to pose this thing. But hopefully you guys can kind of see what's going on here. And since it's so thin, it fills in the cracks, then it dries. One thing you can do is use a Q-tip and dip it in some paint thinner, then roll it and then wipe off the excess, depending on what look you're going for, like I said. And again, I don't claim to be a pro on this. I definitely am not. I'm going to take that shield off. But this is how I do it, how I get my weathered look, so I thought I'd share it with you guys at least. Like you saw the before, nice, clean, pristine looking model there. Another thing you can do if you want something a little bit darker is get a little bit of paint on the brush, put it in the lid there, put in some paint thinner, and this acts just as well if you don't have a an actual wash. Put it on, like so. And you just generally just wipe it off. Use your finger, you can use a Q-tip, you can use paper towel, whatever you want to wipe it off, but you can wipe off as much or as little as you need depending on the look you're going for. See at the back of this joint, I've got quite a few stains and things, and other parts are a little bit cleaner. So it all depends on what you're looking for. As far as effect-wise, finished products, like I said, I wanted this to be an older ATST that's kind of been beat up a bit by the Imperials fighting the rebels. So it was rode hard and put away wet for sure. You can add like little, oil drips and things like I did over here. Got the hydraulics leaking, these hydraulic lines here. Got a little bit of a leak there, and it looks like the oil's leaking and hasn't been maintained very well. So this might be on like an outer rim planet. Something that doesn't get a lot of servicing. You know, as long as it works, it works. That kind of thing, so. But anyway, back to this side. You're gonna want to go back a few different times and just make sure you got the look you want. You have to rub some things off, put more on. It all just depends on what you're going for, look-wise. But I like having few little streaks and things running down, like it's been out in the rain, been out in the weather. That's why it's called weathering, guys. What? Did not know that, Captain Foley? Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. So, sorry these aren't super informative, but this is just how I do it, and you know, a lot of model builds out there are probably cringing right now, going, what the hell are you doing? Because there's more subtle ways to do this kind of thing. And there are, but sometimes I don't have the patience for it. And it all depends, too, on your skill level. Mine's not the best, so. Here again, you want just give it a light rub with the Q-tip. That gets off what you need, but still maintains some of that dirt look. You'll go back and revisit it a few times. I got to add a few more colors in here. Like I want to add I want to put my rust on today, but my rust is all dried out, my old paint, so I got to go buy some more. Otherwise I'd be doing that for you guys. But once the model's complete, then you can go back and add even more weathering and touch up anything you didn't like or something that didn't work out so great. So use the wash in here. Use this in here. I like the joints to be very dirtied up and oily. Because I mean, if I go look at some of my dad's equipment that he's got at his house, I mean, some of it's been neglected and some of it looks dirty and old, and it gives it a real sense of realism, at least for me. Some people want a brand new look, fresh out of the showroom, ATST. And hey, that's definitely cool, but not what I'm looking for. So I'm going to go ahead and finish doing this, and then I'll give you guys a quick look of what it looks like when I'm finished. So hopefully that has instructed you guys a little bit on the weathering that I'm doing here. And I'll be back in a minute with this leg finished. So guys, a few minutes later, and I've got both feet and legs done up. Got a lot of black on my hands from wiping stuff off, but you really can't argue with the results too much. So there's kind of a uniform dirtiness there. The feet I'm going to dirty up a little bit more later. I got to put some brown for dirt and some green stains on there. And there's the odd little part I want to make either aluminum or steel color, and then rust, as I said, but I got to get more paints to do that. But next time you see it, it might be done up a little bit more. But there you have it, guys. Let me just switch camera again. Alright, so I put the main swivel part on again. So there you have it, guys. Kind of a dirtied up ATST. Like I said, this is going to undergo quite a few changes between now and the finished product. Once it's assembled, I'll go back and re-weather it and add some detailing, stuff like that. But this is the main effect that you guys get. There's a few spots there by this hinge up here, right there above my thumb, that I want to go back and revisit because that doesn't look very realistic. But there's my oil leak again. I'll probably add to that a little bit, but there it is, guys. Hope you guys are enjoying this build, and I'll be back in a minute, which might be a day or so from now, to show you how the progress has gone. Next up, I need to paint the cockpit, the interior cockpit and the pilots and stuff, so it'll probably be the painting techniques for those, and show you the finished product there before the assembly of the main compartment. So, see you in a minute, guys. Hey guys, Captain Foley back with more on the ATST. Actually went over to my friend Dave's place today and finished most of it off. Got the interior nicely painted and detailed, which you'll probably never see, unfortunately. I will put pictures up on the video so you guys can see exactly what the interior looks like. But I've also done a nice dry brush with the silver chrome, so it's got that weathered look. It looks really good in certain light. It looks all scratched and beat up. I still have to do decals and a few more minor touch-ups with paint, especially on the guns. But there you have it. I kind of skipped ahead on you guys, and I apologize. But like I said, I was there at my buddy's place all day working on it and got a lot done, so very proud of it. And I got a lot of pictures of the process for you guys to enjoy. So there you go. Yeah, and that silver chrome trim paint is just fantastic. It gives it such a beautiful look. Definitely like scratched metal. So still got to do the decaling, like I said, and a few other little minor things. I want to add some detailing to the vents back here, a few other small things, and maybe add a little bit of weathering to the guns as well. But like I said, the interior details, actually I'm going to just turn on the flash right now and see if we can look inside there. Okay, so we got the flash on the camera, and you can look in there and see a little bit of the detailing. Some buttons and some cockpit things going on. I can also take the top off. So there we go, we got the top popped off, and as you can see, there's some of the detailing inside, some of the instrumentation, buttons, knobs, little joysticks, some silver detailing, some red, white, yellow, just to add some realism to it. It's not the best, but I'm very happy with it. The seats have little notches in them for the pilots, which I considered taking out and sanding, but I'm not sure. I might even put the pilots in there still at some point. And like I said, the top does come off, so I mean I can always add detailing and whatnot later for that. But anyway, there you have it, guys. So next time you see it, it should be all done. I should have the decals and stuff on there. I'm not sure if I'm going to put Chewbacca in there or not. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But overall, I'm super happy with it. And it just looks old, beat up, and weathered. I still got a little bit of work to do on the guns, like I said. Still got the oil leak there. leaking out of the pipes. Just add some realism. So anyway guys, thanks for tuning in, and yeah, next time you see it, it should be finished. So talk to you soon. It's Captain Foley saying I'll see you in a second due to the miracle of magic editing. Alright guys, this is probably a month or so on. It's finished now. You can see the decals I created for it. Thanks to my friend J-Bot, he printed them out for me. Added some rust elements and some silver. Even put a little decal on the gun there and weathered it. Used some silver chrome trim to brush on there so the guns look very used. Of course they pivot and move, all of them. And more rust on the legs, as you'd expect for being an old beat up unit. This on the front, that's Imperial writing. It says Killer Chicken. There's a little in-joke. I do have the pilots in there right now. Pilots are kind of loose sitting in there, but I've also filed off the tabs on the inside for the top, so it just sits on now. It's not on there tight, but there again, putting the decals on and scuffing them up so they look like it's been walking through trees and a whole bunch of other stuff, and branches have been hitting it. Some of the more rusty parts are like parts that would move and become rusty that way. And then got a little blaster mark there with a little bit of rust. The light on my camera is really kind of washing it out and showing some of the stuff that I really can't see in real life, in real lighting. Here's the detailing I added to the back of the vents. Got some rust streaks coming down from those things. Got some rust around the tubes and hydraulic lines and stuff to give it a more realistic look. So the mix of weathering with light gray, and then as well as some silver, gives it a very metallic look. And again, this light on this camera really isn't doing it justice. It looks so much better in real life. But I also got a lot of pictures of the build process that I'm going to show you guys during the course of this video, as well as some static shots of it finished outside. It looks fantastic in regular light. What I'm going to do now is show you the interior, and yeah, hopefully you guys really like it, because I know I do. I'm a huge fan of the ATST, and this one really works for me. So there's the interior with the pilots. Got little scuffs on their helmet, little Imperial decals as well, which is not fun to do on something that size. But yeah, this has like tabs at the front here, in the corners that you can't see now because I've filed them off so that the top can just sit on properly. I don't have to worry about snapping it on and having a difficult time getting it off if I want to show off the interior. Which I should focus. There we go. And then of course the top is here. You can see the rust elements. I've also got it so I can pop this hatch off and put on the open hatch. So the open so the open hatch has a detailed interior that's weathered as well. There we go. And then the outer part rusted the same. The figure also came with Chewbacca, which I'm not a figure painter. And again, the light really washes out his colors. I added a few different browns and painted his bandolier. Tried to get his eyes. I'm not good with figure painting, and these are very small. If you compare it to my thumb, it's actually quite small. So again, this lighting on this thing is atrocious because it's so bright. So in regular lighting, he looks all right. So yeah. I do have the pilots as well. They're painted. Like I said, they got little Imperial symbols on their helmets. Which wasn't fun at all to do, just so you guys know. And these aren't painted perfectly great. Like I said, I'm really zoomed in right now, so it really shows off the flaws. Trying to get this thing to focus here. Scuffs on their helmet and their leather vests. And then of course the interior, I've added a little bit more detail, kind of scuffed up the seats a little bit, made them look used. It's by no means professional quality, but I'm very proud of it. I love ATSTs, so I added some more detailing in there as well. Okay, you can look through the windows and see the detailing if you got a bright light. Alright, so let's get this thing on a tripod here. So as I said, all the guns move. This one rotates. It's like a rocket launcher of sorts. The gun on the front swivels up and down. Also moves side to side. So good range of motion there. I love the little detail I've got on there of the devil's face. Gun on the side. Of course, can fire up or down. Usually have it facing right about there. So yeah, there it is, guys. And with Bandai, it also comes with the little blasters, which you can put into the tip of the guns. So it can be shooting at something. Kind of a pain to get in, but there you go. As I said, I did some various pictures of the build process and the painting of the cockpit and stuff, which I'll put over there. It was an interesting paint project. I used like a cockpit green to get some of the padded parts of the interior done. And a lot of silvers and whites and yellows and reds, things that the Imperials would have as far as buttons go. And then there was a process of designing these stripes, these decals on the thing itself. Went through a couple different drawings and iterations, and then I gave them to my good friend Jim, who owns JBot Decals. he printed them off for me, and I put them on. This I changed when I put it on. I wanted it to go down there initially and then over, but I thought this looked better. Put it over. It's got the little imperial symbol there on the side, and then the classic little red devil that my old Kenner one has, because like I said, I'm a huge fan of these things, which I might actually go grab that and end the video with comparing it with this and the Metal Earth one that I have. I do want to get another version of this and actually put some Starfleet markings on it. Maybe have a regular Starfleet version and also a Mirror Universe version of it. I think might be neat. I'm going to take these out right now. So, and it's still, like I said, it's still set up so you can take the top off. You can put on the open canopy if you want. You can have the pilots in or out. They're currently out. You can also have Chewbacca standing up in there. But I'm not super happy with the way Chewie turned out. But there you go. And then I did some beautiful shots of it outside in the natural lighting, and it looks fantastic. I got the camera really low in some shots, so it looks real. It looks like it's standing there menacing. So overall, I'm happy. Bandai kits are really great kits. They allow you a lot of freedom to build without having a lot of build knowledge, because they are basically snap together kits. I did glue a few elements on this, things that kept falling off, like some of the guards on the shin here, and underneath here the skid plates. But it does come with a base as well you can stand it on, but it stands so well that I don't want to put it on that, because I can adjust the leg stance a little bit, make them wider, and things like that as well. So got quite a lot of movement in this part here and here, make it spread really wide, and you know, for balance and stabilization. The gyroscope thing on this must be amazing, unless you're walking on logs. But the movement down here and here is really restricted, and we do have, of course, the toes, which, you know, can move up like so, or down. They also move side to side, so that helps with balance as well. And yeah, so I would highly recommend picking one of these up if you can. Like I said, I'm going to get more of them and build a few more. I'd like to have a few of these sitting on a shelf side by side and see how that looks, because the AT-ST is one of my favorite Star Wars vehicles and just sci-fi ground assault vehicles overall. I prefer it to the AT-AT, the AT-AT. I prefer it to that as well. So I was so happy to build this, and I really like the way it turned out. I love the fact that I could customize it. I like the one stripe there, and it's all scuffed up and beat up. And of course it says Killer Chicken, because it is a chicken walker, which I thought was a nice little touch. So I want to thank JBot for that, for getting those decals made up for me. It's really awesome to be able to have somebody to customize your decals like that. So there's the other side with the, see the blast marks here. And of course on the other side of the screen you guys can enjoy all of the pictures of the build process that I didn't include because I wasn't making videos at the time, so I was at my buddy's place and I don't want to film when I'm there. We just talk about stuff and work on models. So here's all the other accessories it comes with, and of course the blasters that shoot out the front. So that's it. I'm going to actually go grab the Metal Earth one and my original Kenner toy and put them all together in the shot so you guys can see them all together, and that'll be the wrap up to this video. So guys, here they are all together. Here's the little Metal Earth one. This was a headache to make. Every time I make a Metal Earth sculpture, I say it's going to be the last one because I absolutely hate it, because the process is difficult with these. But you can't argue with the results. They turn out really beautiful. I wanted to share that with you guys as well, right there. And of course in the background there, we've got the big Kenner version, which I loved playing with as a kid. My brother Steve got me this for Christmas one year, and of course it's the same thing. The guns all move. It's got the same guns on the other side, because there are different versions that you don't have that kind of gun necessarily on each side. And of course it's got the flip up flip up canopy, and then the top opens, and it's enough room for one pilot in there, not two. But there you have it, guys. The ATSTs, the Captain Foley ATST collection, available exclusively at Trekyards Central Command. Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. I will be doing another one about the build of the C-3PO and R2-D2 Bandai kits as well. A lot of problems with those kits, in my opinion. They're not perfect by any means. But again, those were done at Dave's, so it was just build, build, build. And once built, they were done. So I just took pictures of the process. I'll walk you through a video of that and all the little problems I had with those, because trust me, there were numerous and plenty, and yeah, they weren't fun. They weren't fun. Bandai does some good stuff, but they also do some things that I don't agree with. So, and there goes my flash. So anyway, guys, till next time, it's Captain Foley signing off.